Okay, good evening, everyone. Hello, am I audible? Please confirm. Cool. So here, not full screen view. I'm good, Ritik. Thank you. Uh, Zakir, please check out that. Some person is complaining about that full screen view.
Now is it clear, guys?
Okay. So last class we discussed about the relationship, right? Relationship and the Spring Data GPA. I hope everyone is very much comfortable with that. Please confirm. Good. Still anyone having any doubt in the relationship or the data GPA, how we can use this data GPA? Okay, maybe some of you may get some confusion. I will show some details in from the last example, and I have another example as well to demonstrate that, so that you will be very much clear. Because the relationship is the only one part in which you have to very much clear in order to complete your project. Because since any project, if you take there, so the most crucial and important part is that the database relationship, schema designing. Database schema designing, you can say the weightage of the schema designing is almost 30 to 40%. Why like that? Because एक बार आपका database design हो गया पूरी तरह से और relationship बन गया. So generally in real time, what we used to do that, first database DBA people, that is database administrator, they will design the schema, they will design that relationship. And then after they will used to provide the ER diagram to the developer. Now, based on the ER diagram, developer used to decide which approach we need to use, whether we need to use the JDBC approach, whether we need to use the ORM approach. And if they are using Spring Boot, so we're going to use the data GPA, and using that, the table, they will create their domain class, entity class. So ये जैसे जैसे table बना हुआ है, उसके according क्या करते हैं वो लोग? We have to create the entity class. We need to map the relationship in an object-oriented way, how we are going to map. So basic essential thing is that first your database is designed. But in our application, what we did last class, if you notice in our application, both the application we used here what AutoDDL approach. That means in the application.properties, we created the entity class, and according to that, our table was created. But in real time, we generally don't do that one. हमें table के according entity class लिखना है. But here we just use the AutoDDL approach, so that once our table, based on our entity class and their relationship, our table will be designed. So you need to go with the bottom-up approach. That means your database should be designed first, and according to that, you need to create your entity classes and your object orientation design you need to create. Okay, so in that last class, we have seen one example of the relationship. And here I want to show you this example particularly. Let me run this example first. So then as Spring Boot app. And this designing, we have seen that here one-to-many, bidirectional, as well as has a relationship. So my application is going to start. Recording is, I guess, I have already started. Sure. Yeah, it is already started. So my application got started, and you can see here. First, let me go with this designing part here. This is the address class. This is a normal, simple. It is not an entity class. Department will have, department is an entity which is having few details. ID is auto-generated, and department will have one-to-many relationship with employee. One department can have many employees, right? And it is mapped by department. So the relationship will be maintained by the employee class. So here in this employee, it is having its own detail. It is having a hazard relationship with address, and here many to one department. Okay, so I don't think so anyone having any problem with the relationship. Please confirm. Hello? Anyone having any doubt? Any problem? Good. Now, the problem is here when we go to the our, and I have already created the repository. So here those repository, yesterday itself I have explained that this department repository and employee repository. That's cool. And some services I have created in this service package, department service, where I'm going to talk about this method. This method is a very, very important, add a new department. So department will be added. It will take a department object, and department object will have these many details like that. ID will be the auto-generated. You need not send. DName, location you need to send. Now you have two choices. जब डिपार्टमेंट को आप ऐड करोगे तो आपके पास दो चॉइस होंगे. What is that? The first, either you can pass the DName and location without any employee details. Without any employee details, आप सिर्फ डिपार्टमेंट का नाम और लोकेशन ऐड कर सकते हैं. Second, you have the department name, location along with the employees. कि डिपार्टमेंट हम रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं, साथ साथ उसमें कुछ एम्प्लॉय भी रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं. So both option you have. You can use any one of those. Okay, now let's go to the implementation part. Department service IMPL. And simply in that I call that new department save method. So that object save method will persist the department object, which is having all the details, and it will generate the auto-generated number that department will be returned. Okay, till here it's okay, no problem. I don't think so anyone having a problem, but the important part in this example is your controller, where in the department controller, I am taking the department details. Now listen carefully. In this data, whatever I have given the sample data, the data along with the department, I am adding employee as well, right? मतलब department हम नया register कर रहे हैं, साथ साथ हम दो employee भी register कर रहे हैं. पहला employee Amit, second employee Ravi. So those employee also will be registered. Last class we have done that, and we have seen that select star from employee. So two employees there, that is Amit and Ravi, who is working on department number 1. This is the DEPT underscore DEPT ID, and select star from department. So this is the department details. Okay, that's cool. But here we have the other option is also there. Without this detail, also we can add a particular department. Let me show you. So in this case, I'm just going to add only this details. So post one department details, go to the body. And in this body, I'm going to add no need, not required this employee details. So just department name and location. So giving the department name as, let's say that accounting or accounts, and here it is Mumbai, like this. Okay. Now I'm going to add this, send the request. Will it be added or not added? Please confirm. Yes, it will be added. Can you guess what will be the employee details? No, there is no any employee details here. So employee will be the null. That means this department don't have any kind of employee. Let's see here. So here department ID 2, that's cool. And here department name, location, and it is showing empty array. Why empty array? Because I have created already blank array list. If you notice in our department, we have blank array list. So that array list will be empty array list will be displayed. Cool. So this detail is there. Okay. अब हमारे पास टेबल के अंदर हम चेक करते हैं जरा. So we have this department. Department 2 is there, but in this department we don't have any employee. So this is only one department ID. We don't have any employee. Now we have the other option. What we can do in the department number 2, we can add a particular employee. हम चाहते हैं कि एक employee को add करें इस department number 2 के अंदर. So how we can do that? But before talking this, let's talk about this one, which is super important. Department controller, these details कि what if अगर हम employee को भी साथ साथ ऐड कर रहे हैं, डिपार्टमेंट के साथ साथ employee को भी ऐड कर रहे हैं, इस बारे में थोड़ा सा बात करते हैं. अब now listen carefully. These details I am passing through the JSON data. So ये सारे डिटेल हमारे एम्प्लॉय का ऑब्जेक्ट बन जाएगा, सॉरी डिपार्टमेंट का ऑब्जेक्ट बन जाएगा, एंड दिस वैल्यू विल कम लाइक दिस इन अ रिक्वेस्ट बॉडी. दैट वैल्यू विल बी इंजेक्टेड. डिपार्टमेंट क्लास के सारे प्रॉपर्टी के अंदर ये ऑटोमेटिकली मैप हो जाएंगे. मतलब मार्केटिंग कोलकाता, दिस एम्प्लॉय हैविंग द लिस्ट, सो दैट लिस्ट एंड अकॉर्डिंगली दिस डिपार्टमेंट क्लास ऑब्जेक्ट विल बी पॉपुलेटेड like department name, location, and employees. Am I clear till this point? Please confirm. Yes. अब होता क्या है कि जब भी हम बाई डायरेक्शनल चीजें सेव करते हैं ना, तो दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट के अंदर दूसरे के रेफरेंस रहते हैं. मतलब अभी डिपार्टमेंट में पता है कि एम्प्लॉय कौन है, लेकिन क्या एम्प्लॉय को पता है कि वो किस डिपार्टमेंट में काम कर रहा है? इज देयर एनी एम्प्लॉय हैविंग एनी डिटेल्स ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट? नो, बिकॉज ई नेम, एम्प्लॉय, सैलरी, डेट ऑफ बर्थ, जेंडर, एड्रेस. लेकिन आपने ये वैल्यू तो सेट नहीं किया है. हमने यहाँ ई नेम, सैलरी, ईमेल, डेट ऑफ बर्थ, जेंडर, लेकिन क्या ये डीईपीटी में कोई वैल्यू हमने ऐड किया है? नहीं. दैट मीन्स एम्प्लॉय डज नॉट हैव एनी रेफरेंस ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट. Department will have the reference of employees to employees list, but employee don't have any idea about in which department is working. So what I did, ये हमें डिपार्टमेंट ऑब्जेक्ट मिला, हमने यहाँ से गेट एम्प्लॉयज कॉल कर लिया, वी गेट दैट लिस्ट एंड लिंकिंग एसोसिएटिंग ऑल एम्प्लॉय विद देयर डिपार्टमेंट. अब ये लिस्ट पे हमने क्या किया, इसे इटरेट किया और सारे एम्प्लॉय में इसके डिपार्टमेंट को हमने पास कर दिया. Same department object, that means we are associating each employee with the department, and then we just call our method. So department is having already details about the employee and each employee from this department. So ये दोनों employee को हम iterate करके निकाल रहे हैं. कैसे? इसके पास getter method है, department dot get employees, हमें employees की list मिल गया है. That is we are iterating here, और हर employee में set department, इस department का reference हमने add कर दिया. By this we are associating all the employees to their department. That's why this reference is accepted here. Directly अगर हम ये step किए बगैर, listen carefully, without doing this step, directly if you call add new department, directly will pass there, then this reference will not be added. The foreign key, the link will be missed. Sudhanshu is asking, so not clear, please again. Okay, explain once again. So let me just try to explain it once again. सुधांशु, आपने हाइबरनेट पे पढ़ा होगा, जब भी हम बाई डायरेक्शनल ऑब्जेक्ट को सेव करते हैं, दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट को साथ साथ, तो दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट के रेफरेंस एक दूसरे में होने चाहिए. वी नीड टू एसोसिएट बोथ द ऑब्जेक्ट विद ईच अदर, इजंट इट? कूल. जैसे कि आप किसी डिपार्टमेंट में एम्प्लॉय को ऐड कर रहे हो, तो डिपार्टमेंट को पता होना चाहिए कौन सा एम्प्लॉय ऐड हो रहा है, और एम्प्लॉय को पता होना चाहिए कि वो किस डिपार्टमेंट में जा रहा है, बिकॉज इट्स अ बाई डायरेक्शनल. बोथ ऑब्जेक्ट शुड हैव द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट ईच वन. I hope you are getting that point. Okay. Now, what will happen here? You are passing these details like this. So this detail will be converted to which object? This department object, isn't it? This department object में request body हमारा compose कर देगा. जो भी JSON data हम भेजेंगे, matching data will be added here. Got it? Please confirm. Cool. So this department object will have the reference of employees. लिस्ट इज देयर बिकॉज डिपार्टमेंट के अंदर सारे डिटेल मिल गए. आईडी तो ऑटो जनरेट है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन डी नेम, लोकेशन और एम्प्लॉइज. सो दिस डिटेल्स विल बी पॉपुलेटेड. डी नेम, लोकेशन एंड एम्प्लॉइज कहां से पॉपुलेट हो रहा है? डी नेम, लोकेशन एंड एम्प्लॉइज. एम्प्लॉइज इज अ लिस्ट एंड दिस एम्प्लॉय विल बी पॉपुलेटेड. यहां तक सब कोई क्लियर है? प्लीज कंफर्म. सुधांशु. So department is having list of employee. लेकिन क्या ये जो एम्प्लॉय है इसके पास डिपार्टमेंट के डिटेल है? चेक करते हैं. नेम है, ईमेल है, सैलरी है, डेट ऑफ बर्थ है, जेंडर है, एड्रेस है, राइट? एम्प्लॉय में चेक करेंगे यहाँ पे. आईडी तो ऑटो जनरेट होगी, नेम है, ईमेल है, सैलरी है, डेट ऑफ बर्थ है, जेंडर है, एड्रेस है। लेकिन क्या ये फील्ड है हमारे पास? नहीं, मतलब एम्प्लॉय के अंदर डिपार्टमेंट एसोसिएट नहीं है। सो दैट मीन्स दिस डिपार्टमेंट इज मिसिंग हियर, डिपार्टमेंट इज नॉट एसोसिएटेड। तो डिपार्टमेंट कौन सा होगा? ये एम्प्लॉय जो है अमित किस डिपार्टमेंट से बिलोंग करता है? इसी डिपार्टमेंट से बिलोंग करता है ना, राइट? In fact, Ravi is also belonging to the same department. So what I did here, we are just associating और linking all the employees, जितने दोनों एम्प्लॉय हैं, दोनों को उनके डिपार्टमेंट का इंफॉर्मेशन हम पास करते हैं। कैसे? डिपार्टमेंट से गेट एम्प्लॉयज करेंगे, हमें दोनों एम्प्लॉय का डिटेल लिस्ट मिल जाएंगे, रवि और अमित की। और दोनों रवि और अमित के डिपार्टमेंट में हम इसी सेम डिपार्टमेंट का रेफरेंस पास करेंगे। By this way, we are associating employee with their department. I hope it got the point here. Please confirm. Cool. So by this way, your link will be there. Otherwise, some people used to do that. What's the mistake they used to do? Without associating this list, they directly call the same method and they are checking that whether it's working or not. आपका object तो save हो जाएगा, but this link, the association will be missed up. Here you will see the value, null value will be associated. So be careful. You need to associate both the object in case of bidirectional relationship. Okay, that's cool. But here I have another approach, another detail. That means just now we have done that कि हमने एक employee को add किया था, एक department को add किया था बिना किसी employee के. So just rename location, and this is there. But I want that here in this department number 2, I want to add the employees. So in that case, what I have done, I have written the another method. So please check out there. This is department, I guess it is employee service. Here. So in the employee service, add employee in a department. And that employee will be returned, the added employee. So see that. किस डिपार्टमेंट में कौन सा एम्प्लॉय को ऐड करना है, राइट? सो लेट्स गो टू दैट implementation part. I have auto add this department repo as well as employee repo. तो पहले डिपार्टमेंट रेपो से हम पता करेंगे कि इस आईडी का कोई डिपार्टमेंट है भी या नहीं है. ओके, वी गॉट दैट, हमें ऑप्शनल मिल गया डिपार्टमेंट. अगर ऑब्जेक्ट है तब तो ये सारे काम करेंगे, अदरवाइज इनवैलिड डिपार्टमेंट, इस नाम का कोई डिपार्टमेंट है ही नहीं. ठीक है, डिपार्टमेंट मिल गया तो हमने डिपार्टमेंट एक्सेस कर लिया यहाँ पे opt.get. नाउ व्हाट आई एम डूइंग हियर, सी हियर, हियर आल्सो आई एम डूइंग द सेम थिंग. अभी क्या करना है कि हमें इस एम्प्लॉय को डिपार्टमेंट में ऐड करना है. डिपार्टमेंट का तो ऑब्जेक्ट मिल गया हमें, ये रहा. अब एसोसिएटिंग एम्प्लॉय विथ डिपार्टमेंट, इस एम्प्लॉय को हमने एसोसिएट कर दिया डिपार्टमेंट के साथ. सो एम्प्लॉय डॉट सेट डिपार्टमेंट DEPT and associating department with employee. So DEPT.get employees ये हमें लिस्ट देगा और उस लिस्ट में हम ये एम्प्लॉय को ऐड कर देंगे. Does it make sense? So here both way I am just associating. यहाँ पे एम्प्लॉय को हम रेफरेंस दे रहे हैं डिपार्टमेंट का, यहाँ पे डिपार्टमेंट के लिस्ट में हम ऐड कर रहे हैं एक एम्प्लॉय को. मतलब अगर आप किसी कंपनी को ज्वाइन करोगे तो आपके पास डिपार्टमेंट का इंफॉर्मेशन, उस कंपनी के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन होना चाहिए. Here it is. और कंपनी को भी अपने सारे एम्प्लॉय में एक आप एम्प्लॉय भी ऐड हो जाने चाहिए. और फिर बाद में हमने एम्प्लॉय को सेव कर दिया and it will return the persisted employee. Does it make sense? Please confirm. Hello. Cool. So here also bidirectional association will be there. Now it is working or not, let's check out that. So here let me go to the controller and how I am just using this service. So it should be in a employee controller. And here it is. Post mapping. How to decide what to persist, employee or department? Yeah, that's a very good question, Lokesh. So अब लोकेश पूछ रहे हैं कि कौन सा हमें कैसे डिसाइड करना है कि क्या परसिस्ट करना है. बेसिकली हमने दोनों को, अगर आपने कैस्केडिंग दोनों तरफ लगा रखा है, then you can use any one object you can persist. Since I have used that here cascading, in which object? Department. Where it is here. department. So if you persist the department object, your automatically it will be merged and one employee will be added. But here my method, if you notice, here it is employee service IMPL. See that method signature. I'm returning the persisted employee, जो employee add हो रहा है. तो हम employee पास करेंगे, यहाँ पे ID नहीं होगी उसकी, और जैसे हम यहाँ पे सेव कर देंगे उस employee को, तो इसकी एक ID generate होगी, and that employee will be returned. So based on what type of return type you have taken, guess what? If you have taken the return type is the entire department details. Entire department details after adding this employee, then in that case you can persist the department also, because in the department side you have used already what? Cascading option. Does it make sense? Good. Nisha is asking, this method is valid only for bidirectional. Yes, it is for bidirectional. Think logically ना निशा, कि अगर ये unidirectional होता तो क्या आप ये कर पाती आप? यूनिडायरेक्शनल में तो दोनों के अंदर या तो किसी के अंदर लिस्ट होगा तो ये सेट डिपार्टमेंट नहीं होगा, और सेट डिपार्टमेंट होगा तो लिस्ट नहीं होगा, तो ऑब्वियसली आप मेथड तो कॉल ही नहीं कर पाओगे. Am I correct? क्योंकि यूनिडायरेक्शनल है. यूनिडायरेक्शनल में एक के पास ही रेफरेंस होगा, दूसरे के पास कोई रेफरेंस होगा ही नहीं. Make sense? Please confirm. Good. So let's check out that whether it's working or not. So here it is that employee controller. And in this employee controller, here's the details. I'm calling that post mapping department ID हम पास करेंगे path variable से. तो यहाँ पे हमने path variable से department ID ले रहे हैं और request body से employee का object ले रहे हैं. Employee का object में उसकी ID नहीं होगी. And simply I am calling this method. It will return the saved employee, and that saved employee I have returned. और ये employee की detail हम कैसे pass कर रहे हैं? So this is the URL. That means employee is 2. This is the department number. And here is the name, that is employee details. So let's quickly try to call this one. So here this should be URL post employees, और कौन से डिपार्टमेंट में ऐड करना है हमें, राइट? तो हमारे पास कितने भी डिपार्टमेंट हैं? 2. तो सेकेंड नंबर डिपार्टमेंट में हमें एम्प्लॉय को ऐड करना है. So second number department, and here we need to give that our employee details. So here is your employee details. So e-name Mukesh @gmail.com, salary, mail, address, and pin code. One thing is missing. Guess what? एम्प्लॉय के अंदर हमने एक चीज ऐड की थी कल, वो क्या था? DOB. So this DOB also we need to pass. DOB, let's say that 02 05 2004. Cool. Let's check out that कि Mukesh is going to add it in the department number 2 or not. Send a request. And here you will notice this record got inserted. So here 201 created, and here you will able to see that employee ID 52 Mukesh, and this is the details. This got added. Now let's verify here. So in your department, only 2 department, and in the employee, you will notice this is the Mukesh detail who is working in department number 2. Am I clear? Please confirm. Good. बहुत ही सिंपल है, आपको बस दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट को एक दूसरे के साथ एसोसिएट करना है. तो जब भी ये बाई डायरेक्शनल वाली मैपिंग को सेव करो आप, तो उसके ऑब्जेक्ट के अंदर सेकंड ऑब्जेक्ट का रेफरेंस होना चाहिए. That's it. Okay. So till here everyone is comfortable. Now let's try to play with this example. What I'm going to do that, I want to get that all the employee list given by the department ID. कि डिपार्टमेंट 1 में कितने एम्प्लॉय काम कर रहे हैं, डिपार्टमेंट 2 में कितने एम्प्लॉय काम कर रहे हैं, हमें ये सारे डिटेल चाहिए. तो अभी इस टेबल से हम बता सकते हैं डिपार्टमेंट 1 में 2 एम्प्लॉय काम कर रहे हैं, एंड डिपार्टमेंट 2 में एक एम्प्लॉय काम कर रहा है. Shudhanshu is asking employee ID 52 how? Are you added more before? No, Shudhanshu. Shudhanshu, if you are not comfortable with this, I recommend to please check out that your ID generated in your Hibernate. ID generator, if you are using the auto, since I have used here, it is auto generation. So it will reserve 50 IDs. And based on high-low algorithm, it will give the value. If you want that the ID should be generated by sequentially, either you can use increment or sequence, any other strategy. क्योंकि ये ऑटो स्ट्रेटजी है, ये एक बार रिस्टार्ट में आपके 50 आईडी को ये रिजर्व कर लेता है, अगली बार उसी हिसाब से मैनेज करता है. I hope this concept you have learned there in your Hibernate. It is not a GPA concept, it's a Hibernate. Please confirm. Yes, cool. So let's try to achieve this one. So my requirement is what? Inside department repository, let's go there. Department. I want to get that all the employees based on their department ID. तो अब मुझे बताओ कि कैसे हम उसे एक्सेस करें. पहले तो हम एक सर्विस लिख लेते हैं यहाँ पे डिपार्टमेंट सर्विस के अंदर. ओके, ये सर्विस है हमारा. आई हैव ऑलरेडी रिटन दिस public get department by employee ID. No, this will not be there. Let's say that it is I'm writing that in a comment. Let it be. Let's go to the employee service. Here it is. Okay, so this service basically I want that कि based on the department ID हम department ID पास करें और वो हमें बताए कि कितने employees पे काम कर रहे हैं. Now this is a very interesting example here. Please concentrate here. So I hope you got the requirement. What is our requirement? Based on the department ID, I want to get all the employee details. So अगर हम department ID 1 पास करें तो इस लिस्ट में 2 employee होने चाहिए. And if I will pass the department ID 2, in that I will get only 1 employee. Make sense? Cool. So let's go to the implementation of this EMP service IMPL. And let's try to implement this method. अब ये मेथड को इंप्लीमेंट करने के ना बहुत सारे तरीके. सबसे सिंपल तरीका क्या है, पहले हम उस तरीके से बात करते हैं. तो पहले हमारे पास रिपोजिटरी तो ऑलरेडी है. इसके अंदर कौन से दोनों रिपोजिटरी है, डिपार्टमेंट और एम्प्लॉय. तो डिपार्टमेंट आईडी हमारे पास है, तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं, DEPT repo dot find by ID and pass this department ID, or else throw new department exception I don't have that exception, so I'm creating that runtime exception. You can create a simple exception here. So runtime exception invalid department ID. Okay, otherwise you are going to get that department object. तो हमने पहले क्या किया है कि इसका डिपार्टमेंट हमने एक्सेस कर लिया, राइट. अब इस डिपार्टमेंट से हम क्या कर सकते हैं, डॉट गेट एम्प्लॉयज. मिल गया लिस्ट में, yes or no, and this we can return. Cool. So this service is got implemented. Let's try to, why it is showing the error, get employees, it is the list, list is returned. Okay, the problem is here, this signature. Oh, I have not saved this one. Yeah, cool. So now this employee service is there. Let's go to the employee controller and try to implement this method as well. Public response entity of list of employee with all employees by DPTI. And this one will take integer. Okay, this is my method signature, but I need to annotate with @get mapping, and that is employees slash DPTI. So here employees slash DPTID, employees slash DPTID. Yes, it will be acceptable. Why? Because here is a post mapping, here is a get mapping. So there should be no problem. And this one we need to annotate with @path variable. Cool. Now let's call our method, that is DPT employee service dot get all employee by department ID, pass this department ID. It will return the list of employee. And return this. Cool. Let's check out that whether this API is working or not. So I'm going to pass here, that is should be get. And employees, I'm giving that here, this things is not required. Passing 1. तो एक नंबर डिपार्टमेंट में कितने एम्प्लॉय है? 2 एम्प्लॉय है. Let's check out that. Yes, so employee 1 Amit and employee 2 Ravi. I'm able to access both the details. And if I will pass that 2, so this time I should get only one employee, that is Mukesh. So this API is working properly, isn't it? Please confirm. Cool. But actually this is we can optimize this method. We can optimize this method to the next level. इसमें सर्विस के इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम है. वो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? Watch carefully. How I have implemented this method. So if you see the implementation, so what I did here, I just call that hey department. I'm based on the department ID. I'm pulling out all the department details. अभी आप ये सोचो कि हमें क्या चाहिए? सारे एम्प्लॉय चाहिए हमें, राइट? मतलब इस डिपार्टमेंट के क्लास को आप देखो, आप तो इस डिपार्टमेंट के क्लासेस में कितने फील्ड है? आईडी है, नेम है, लोकेशन है और लिस्ट ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज है. हमें चाहिए लिस्ट ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज. लेकिन हम कर क्या रहे हैं यहाँ पे इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में? आई एम पुलिंग आउट द इंटायर डिटेल्स ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट. I'm not just pulling out the employee list, I'm pulling out the entire details of the department. Then what's the problem? The problem is here. Suppose that in the department here I have 3 fields, but what if I have 20 fields? 20 fields, koi aur bhi list hai, list of let's say that product, list of items, list of blah blah things. Some other relationships are also there. So if you are pulling out that entire employee department details, will it not going to pull those details also unnecessarily? Yes. And the other problem is that they will create what the object also for the entity, because it's the ORM approach. It will unnecessarily create the list of suppose product or list of item. उन सारे का object भी बन जाएगा, right? Of course, we have the flexibility of fetch loading, that means eager loading and fetch loading. We can apply that one कि किस object को हमें eagerly fetch करना है, किसे हमें lazily fetch करना है. But why to do unnecessarily other things like that? If you have not mentioned eager loading and not properly use that lazy loading, then initially it will load the entire department detail. It will reduce or degrade the performance. There is a better way. हम क्या कर सकते हैं, पूरे डिपार्टमेंट डिटेल्स को लोड करने की बजाय हम सिर्फ एक फील्ड को चूज कर सकते हैं. मतलब यहाँ पे डिपार्टमेंट के सारे डिटेल्स को एक्सेस करने की बजाय हम सिर्फ एक फील्ड को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं और ये फील्ड हमें लिस्ट दे देगा. इसके लिए क्या करना होगा? कैन एनीवन सजेस्ट? We need to write the JPQL. We need to write the JPQL, that is our query. So I'm going to, in a department repository, I'm going to write a method. So the method should be public list of employee, get all employees by department ID, and take that integer. Now I need to write the query. अब आप लोग फटाफट query बताओ, क्या query होगा? What should be the JPQ? The query should be select. JPQL we always write in the term of classes and variable. तो हमें यही variable access करना है ना? So what to do here? Select d dot employees from department D, from department D, because it is in the department. From department I am pulling out. From department D, हमें ये field हमने project कर लिया. आप चाहो तो other field को भी project कर सकते हो. So I'm just pulling out the list. Department D, where dptid, sorry, d dot dptid is equal to (1). Is it okay? Please confirm. Cool. So this (1), this is the first parameter, will be appended here, and according to that, you are going to get the list. Or that's why I have taken the return type as list here, because ये जो property है, ये basically list की property है. Now, if somebody has having the confusion, suppose that I am projecting instead of this property, I am projecting this location. So if I will write like this, d dot location, तो यहाँ पे return type क्या हो जाएगा? It will be string, क्योंकि location का जो return type है string. Got the point? But here, since the query will be what? I'll do it once again. That is d dot employees from department D, where d dot dptid is equal to (1). Cool. So it will be the optimized query. In this case, you are not going to get the entire department details. I'm just projecting only one column. Now what to do? You can simply go to that. That is in your, this is our control repository. So go to your service IMPL, and instead of doing this, you can get that. Let me put that in a comment, and simply you will call your method. That is dpt repo dot get employees by department ID, and simply return this. Over. It will also give you the exact same output. Yeah, some problem it's saying that because of the query, because some query problem, maybe it is not written properly. Let's check out that. Where is the problem? Here it is. Let's check out that department. This dptid, I is a capital. So like this. Now there should be no problem. The method got, that means my server got started. And if I give the request here once again, I should get the similar kind of output. So here is that only Mukesh detail. And if I pass here 1, I should get that 2 employee details. Amit and other details. Is it clear? Please confirm. Cool. So this way you can fetch out all the details. आप इसी तरह वो भी मेथड लिख सकते हो कि ये एम्प्लॉय किस डिपार्टमेंट में काम कर रहा है, right? So suppose that you have a particular requirement like based on the employee ID, I want to get the, since it's a bidirectional mapping, so आप दोनों में से किसी ऑब्जेक्ट से किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट की तरफ नेविगेट कर सकते हो. तो यहाँ पे हम नेविगेट कर रहे हैं, डिपार्टमेंट आईडी है तो हम एम्प्लॉय निकाल रहे हैं. आप एक और मेथड लिख सकते हो जो कि क्या करे, एम्प्लॉय आईडी से उसका डिपार्टमेंट डिटेल को निकाल ले. Can't you write that? Please confirm. Yes. Okay. Now, this is another important thing you need to remember. You can utilize using JPQL. You can write any type of query. Any type of query, even you can write your native query also. Native query support is also there. How to write the native query? Last class, we have seen that in your notes, it is mentioned there. But native query is really discouraged in our ORM approach. We are never interested with our native query. We always prefer our normal query. Okay. So the next thing, since you are using the JPQL, you can use the normal, that means subqueries, joins, and other things as well. मतलब आप subquery भी लिख सकते हो, join भी लिख सकते हो using JPQL. Let's try to get that one example of joins, how we can use the join using JPQL. Okay. So let's say that I have the details, I have a requirement. The requirement like this कि हमें क्या चाहिए कि हम एक API लिखना चाहते हैं जिसमें कि डिटेल्स हो दोनों के, डिपार्टमेंट के भी, एम्प्लॉय के भी. ओके, कि हमारे पास कस्टमर के डिटेल्स हो, डिपार्टमेंट आईडी जो हम पास करें, तो उस डिपार्टमेंट आईडी में लेट्स से दैट पर्टिकुलर लिस्ट, दैट मीन्स हम डिटेल चाहते हैं कि उस डिपार्टमेंट में कितने एम्प्लॉय काम कर रहे हैं. एम्प्लॉय का नाम, फिर आपके let's say that here is an employee. I want that employee ID, name, or email. Only few field from the employee table, and few field from the department table, like department name and location. That means I want to get the information from both the entities. Mix up data. हम कुछ डिटेल डिपार्टमेंट से भी चाहते हैं, कुछ डिटेल्स हम एम्प्लॉय से भी चाहते हैं. How we can solve this, right? So we can use the joins here to write that optimized query. We can use the joins. So let me just define one service first. So in department service, here I am defining one method. Public. And the return type you can take either DTO class help, क्योंकि मिक्सअप डिटेल होंगे ना, तो उसके लिए आप एक DTO क्लास बना लो जहाँ पे आप वो सारे फील्ड रख लो जो दोनों एंटिटी क्लास से मिक्सअप आ रहे हैं. या फिर आप क्या कर सकते हो, you can write let me first design one JPQL method first, then after we'll go to the service. So in that case, let's say that department repository, and I'm writing one JPQL. And the requirement is like that, public. Here, since the mix-up data will come, so I can use the DTO, but DTO you can utilize later. I'm just using what? String. And method name I am giving at get employee department, or let's say that department employee details, department employee both details based on department ID. Like this. Based on the department ID, उस department ID में कितने details हैं, employee हैं. तो basically उस department में हमें list की employee मिलेंगे, so it should be the list of string. Okay. Now my requirement is here. I want to get some partial details from department as well as some details from employee based on the department ID. So let's say that department ID हम 2 की बात करें. सो डिपार्टमेंट आईडी 2 में डिपार्टमेंट का नाम क्या है? डिपार्टमेंट आईडी 2 में सो डिपार्टमेंट name is accounts, location is Mumbai. I want the details like this. If I give the entry 2, so I should get the details like this. So the department name, location, फिर employee का नाम, let's say that e-name, email, salary. E-name, email, salary. So these two details coming from department entity, these three details will come from employee entity, right? Or जितने भी details होंगे, so those value will come. So you have the two choices. Either you can take a what DTO class, उसमें ये पांचों field आप रख लो, जितने भी custom field चाहिए, and then you can take the value in a DTO class. Or you can take a simple string, so the value will come as a comma separated string. Does it make sense? Please confirm. Hello? Cool. So let's try to write the JPQL for this particular requirement. Now you need to help me. So I'm writing this query. @query. And here the JPQL should be select. First from employee table, what I want to project. So I'm taking the alias e.ename, comma, e.email, comma, e.salary. Let's say that I want to take only these many fields, right? From the employee table. Comma, department table से क्या क्या चाहिए? हमें चाहिए d.dname, comma, d.location from employee E. आगे बताओ क्या होगा? After employee E, it should be inner join. Very good, Suryakant. Employee E, inner join, department D. Department D. ठीक है. Condition कैसे लगाते हैं हम? Using on. On. अब हमें matching field लेना है, right? So the matching field will be what? कि department का d.dptid ये किसके बराबर है? डिपार्टमेंट का, जैसे ये डिपार्टमेंट का dptid ये किसके बराबर है? e.empid. नो वो बराबर हो एम्प्लॉय के dpt का dptid का. Does it make sense? This confirm? So it should be equal to e.dpt.dptid. Now listen carefully. Employee के अंदर डिपार्टमेंट है. Check out that. Is it dpt? Yes. और इसके dptid के ये किसका ऑब्जेक्ट है? डिपार्टमेंट का. और इसके dptid के बराबर होना चाहिए हमारे इस डिपार्टमेंट का आईडी. Am I clear? Please confirm. Cool. And what is that? d.dptid is equal to (1). And that department ID will be taken from here. Make sense? Please confirm. Check out that. Actually, I'm searching word wrap. Okay, it should be. So this will be the query here. तो यहाँ पे हम कुछ फील्ड को प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं. अब कितने फील्ड को प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं? 1 2 3 ये एम्प्लॉय से आ रहे हैं, राइट? और ये 2 फील्ड डिपार्टमेंट से आ रहे हैं, राइट? और ये एम्प्लॉय ई, इनर जॉइन, डिपार्टमेंट आईडी, डिपार्टमेंट डी, एंड दिस इज आवर मैचिंग कंडीशन कि ये दोनों हमारे डिपार्टमेंट के टेबल का आईडी और एम्प्लॉय के डिपार्टमेंट आईडी दोनों बराबर होने चाहिए, और डिपार्टमेंट का डिपार्टमेंट आईडी शुड बी दिस पार्ट सप्लाई डिपार्टमेंट आईडी. That's it. So if it is there, then I'm taking a string here. So that value will come as a comma separated value. Now, question is, sir, why you have taken this list here? Because इस department में बहुत सारे employee हो सकते हैं, right? In that case, I took the list here. Because in department number 2, we have 2 employees. Department number 1, we have 2 employees. It could have the 5 employee, 10 employee like that. Is it clear? Please confirm. So let's check out that this method is working properly or not. So in order to do that, let me just, I'm not going to use, let's say that in a service itself, I'm embed this method, I'm going to embed, or let's write that properly, it is service as well. So it is in the department repository. So department service, and first, let me just go to the department service, public list of string, get emp dept custom details. Based on integer dept id, like this. And now go to the department service, override the method. Here it is. Just call your method, that is department repository. Dot and call get department employee details based on the ID, and it should be. Now we need to go to the controller. In a department controller, let's write that controller. So department controller, public response entity of list of string get emp dept details. It will take integer dept id at the rate get mapping get emp dept slash. Can we use named query also here? Yes, name query also. No, named query in the JPK will, actually we have the provision to utilize that. Let me check out that in your notes. I guess I have written some named query details also. Give me a moment. In your notes, it is not there. No? If we have the provision, we can utilize the named query also. So let me first execute this one, then after I will try to show one example. So DPTID. Okay, this is what my API name is, a get emp dept, and simply here it is department service dot get department details, and will return list of string result that result, comma, HTTP status. Okay. Cool. Let's check out that this API is working or not. Sorry, yes, I need to use the path variable. Thank you, Sanjay. So here, let's check out that whether it's working or not. So it's a get mapping, change this. I'm giving the endpoint and department ID, let's say that 2. So it should be the details accordingly. Pass the 2, and here it is. So since I have only one employee, so I'm able to access their data. So Mukesh email and the details here, the salary, and this is the account details. But if I will pass here 1, so I will take that value as accordingly like this. This time I have the 2 employee custom details. Am I clear? Please confirm. Can't you get this data in a DTO object? Yes or no? Yes. Good. So by this way, we can fetch the data and we can write that our joins, we can use which type of query you want. Nested query also, but based on that, you need to apply your common sense. कि आपकी requirement क्या है और आप कैसे value को आप यहाँ पे access कर रहे हो. That means what type of method you are writing, the important thing in that, and what is the return type you are taking according to your JPQ value. That's it. Now, here is the time of a small break. And after the break, we are going to discuss about that another relationship example I will explain quickly. And then we will see that the next important concept that is pagination and sorting. Let me check here. We can utilize that. Should be. Yeah, value you can take. And here you can take this one as a comma native query. Native query is equal to true. Like this. If I want to use the native query. Make sense? अगर आप native query simple लिखना चाहते हो, so this is a way to write a native query. But how to use that named query? Let me check out that named query related. Yeah, name is there. So persistence named query. The name query to be used if not defined a Jakarta named query with the name $domain class name will be used. So using the name, you can utilize that name query also. Name query you have to define in your entity class और उसका नाम यहाँ पे आप specify कर सकते हो using the name. Does it make sense? Please confirm. Cool. And somebody is asking, what about the Lombok? Lombok, we are also going to see that. It will not take more than half an hour to just explain that the remaining concept that is your this part that is another relationship example. So you will be very super clear with that all the relationship and some tips, and then after we will discuss about that your Lombok and Swagger and how to use pagination in strategy. So today itself we will going to cover. Those are the very small topics. So we'll come back by 10 p.m. 8-minute break, and then we'll continue. Just 8-minute break. Okay, welcome back. So let's start the session. Gaurav is asking, logging will be covered today. Hopefully, it may not cover today because thing is that we have to continue with some other topic. That is, we will try that. We will try if it is possible. So we can. Otherwise, we will push that to the tomorrow session. Tomorrow, anyhow, we are going to start this link security. Okay. So I'm going to explain you the another relationship example, in which I have used a many-to-many relationship. So include all of them. That example, just I will explain what is the mapping part. Remaining rest of the thing, you will try to analyze yourself. So Spring Boot relationship app. This application is a Spring Boot relationship JP app one. Whatever I have just explained, and this is the example of your Spring Boot relationship app in this. Let me first go to the model classes. Here I just use a many to many relationship. मतलब student और course के अंदर हमने many to many relationship establish किया है. So one student can take admission in many courses, multiple courses, and inside one course, multiple student can be registered. So many to many relationship. And in that case, what will happen? In many to many relationship, whenever we establish, how many table will be created and how many table will be there? 3 table. Third table will maintain the relationship, right? So if you notice the course, here how I have just used that. So in a course, the course ID, which is auto-generated, course name, fees, description. And here it is a set of a student. Set of a student, you can take the list of the student also. And it's a cascade type. All both sides I have used many to many annotation. And mapped by courses. That means the third table will be created having that only one table. If you don't use the mapped by, then the fourth table will be created. I hope you know that is concept. Okay, so you need to use a many to many relationship. Either you can use a list or you can use a set. Both one. आप list भी use कर सकते हो, not a problem. But if you are taking a set, remember you need to override. What is that? Equals and hash code method. This equals and hash code I just use here what for Lombok. What is the Lombok? Just within a minute we are going to start. Right? So equals and hash code method you need to use if you are using a set. Why? Because set does not allow duplicates. In order to identify the duplicate, it uses this equals and hash code method. Right now, if you are using this ID as auto-generated key, then it is also not, that means mandatory, because anyhow, your ID will be the different. So based on your ID, the equals and hash code you can utilize. But it is recommendation, whenever you are using the set, inside a set any object you are keeping, then that class set or hash map का भी key अगर आप रखना है किसी object को, तो it is highly recommended to use the equals and hash code method in that class. Nothing more than that. Anyone having any other doubt inside this class? Please confirm. Good. Similarly, I have created this student class in which I just took the address class, the previous address class की तरह था, normal has a relationship, and this is your what? Has set. Here also I use a many to many relationship, and here I use the cascade type all. Here this side also, this is also set. It is using here. Here I have not used, I guess, the Lombok. So I just manually created this getter setter. You can utilize this Lombok as well. See here I have overridden this equals and hash code manually. अगर आप Lombok use नहीं करोगे, so you have to use override this equals and hash code. Okay, so there will be no any problem to understand this mapping concept. Now, the important thing is that for both entity, I have created the repository. The course DAO or course repository, which will take that the student repository, which will take the student and integer, and course DAO or course repository, which is taking that course detail. Cool. So this is the interface. Here I have written some JPQL. So what is the JPQL here? Here I need that is get course by CNAME. Get course by CNAME के हमें course के नाम के according उसका course निकालना है. Not based on the ID. I want that based on the course name. I want to get the course detail. कि course का नाम Java हो तो Java की सारे detail हमें चाहिए. Course का नाम अगर Python हो तो Python की सारी detail. Not based on the name. Since it is a non-primary key ID, non-ID field, so we have only the find by ID है जो कि ID के field पे निकालता है. लेकिन ये non-primary key पे है तो हमें JPQL लिखना पड़ेगा. We have already discussed that. So you have both options. Either you can use find by course name, that find by clause and this course name. So you can see here this course table is having course name. So here you can use this either this approach, find by course name and this course name. So ये convention use करेगा. लेकिन आप चाहते हो कि हम convention ना follow करें, हम JPQL लिखें, method का नाम कुछ और हम लिख ले. So in that case you can use your JPQL. So get C from course C, where C dot course name is equal to question mark 1. This value will be added. The shortcut of this one you can use this way as well, like from course where course name is equal to question mark 1. because here I'm not using select C, मतलब ये अपने आप समझ जाता है कि सारे कॉलम को आप प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हो, आप एक्सेस कर रहे हो. So this is the shortcut of this one. I hope you are aware of this. Please confirm. Yes, Suryakant, nice observation. Very good, very good. So Suryakant is have observed very clear thing. What is that? Here, that he's saying that sir is a non-ID field, then it should be list of course, isn't it? Please confirm. It should be list. But in my course I have designed such a way that in this course name actually I should keep that as a unique field. क्योंकि Java नाम की दो course होंगे नहीं. Actually, I just missed that here column attribute to make this unique. So in our table level, it should be unique. That's why this course का एक ही course होगा. That's why I took that as a single value. Make sense? Why I took that as a single object? And last class we discussed about this concept. कि अगर आप make sure करते हो कि एक ही object आएगा, then you can take this value in an optional or you can take that in an object. But remember, Java नाम की दो course जैसे ही मिलेंगे, ये method आपका fail हो जाएगा. It will throw an exception. Okay. The next one, I need that get students by course name. इस course के अंदर कितने student हैं सब हमें चाहिए. So just like that we have done right now. So I call that select C dot students from course C. मतलब हम सिर्फ इस students को project कर लिया हमने. And it will give you the set of student. So here you can see that it is set of student. Anyone having any doubt in this both JPQL? Cool. So this is the course DAO. Now student DAO, I guess here I have not written any JPQL. In the services, I have few methods. Let's say that course service, register a new course, right? In that course, you can add some student also. You have the privilege and see that implementation. Simply I just get that course and here I am associating each student with the course and I'm saving this object. You can perform this operation inside your controller as well. But here from the course, I'm taking all the student and each student I'm adding the course reference. Now you can notice this method. I'm going to call this from the controller. This controller. And these are the details. Course के साथ हम कुछ student को भी register करते हैं like this. You can add any course without a student also. And in that later, you can add a particular student in existing course. So here I just call course details and I have called the same. Now, if you compare to the previous example, वहाँ पे ये काम हम यहाँ पे हमने कर रखा था. मतलब ये जो हम सर्विस के अंदर लिखा है हमने, this one, associating object with this detail, and then I pass that call the method of our save that from our service. I've done that in a controller. It's your wish. आप कहाँ पे वैल्यू को एसोसिएट कर रहे हो. इस कोर्स के ऑब्जेक्ट में ये सारे वैल्यू एम्बेड हो जाएंगे. नाउ इस कोर्स के अंदर स्टूडेंट का रेफरेंस है लेकिन स्टूडेंट के अंदर कोर्स का रेफरेंस नहीं है. तो वो रेफरेंस हम कैसे हमने ऐड किया है? दैट इज एडेड इन आवर सर्विस लेयर. सर्विस लेयर हैज डन दैट. सो हर स्टूडेंट को हमने इटरेट किया और उसमें गेट कोर्सेज के अंदर इस कोर्स को हमने ऐड कर दिया लाइक दिस. Am I clear? Please confirm. Hello? Is it okay? Good. Now, last one, let's check out that in a student controller. Here is that register a student in an existing course. So I'm taking the course name और एक student को हमने यहाँ पे value को लिया है and similar kind of stuff is there. You can go through this and then after get a student by course name handler. What is the based on the JPQL I'm accessing this detail. I will share this example as well so that you will get the clarity ki how we can make use of this bidirectional many-to-many relationship also. Good. Anyone having any doubt till this point? Now I believe that you are very much comfortable with JPQL and other stuff. Now is the time for next concept. That is what? Pagination. Sir, what is the purpose of using JSON ignore? Lokesh is asking. लिसन, जेसन इग्नोर का पर्पस क्या है ना, बहुत ही सिंपल है। जेसन इग्नोर का मतलब है कि जेसन में जो डेटा आप देख रहे हो ना यहाँ पे, इसमें वो प्रॉपर्टी इग्नोर हो जाएगी। यहाँ पे वो प्रॉपर्टी हमारा दिखाई नहीं देगा। अब ये जेसन इग्नोर हम क्यों करते हैं यहाँ पे, अगर आप देखना यहाँ पे कोर्स में और स्टूडेंट में, here I have used a JSON ignore. Why like this? तो यहाँ पे आपको काफी स्मार्टली सोचना पड़ेगा कि हम जेसन इग्नोर कहाँ पे यूज करें, किस साइड में। तो जिस डेटा को हम एक्सेस करने वाले हैं पूरे डिटेल को दिखाने वाले हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल, आई वांट टू पुल द स्टूडेंट डिटेल्स, कि इस कोर्स में कितने स्टूडेंट है, तो सारे स्टूडेंट का डिटेल आएगा कोर्स के साथ। तो इस कोर्स का डिटेल के साथ साथ स्टूडेंट का डिटेल आएगा, लाइक कोर्स जावा, जावा के अंदर कोर्स का ड्यूरेशन है 45 डेज, कोर्स की फी है 5000, इसमें कितने स्टूडेंट हैं, तो उसमें उस कोर्स में कितने स्टूडेंट है। लेट्स से दैट माय रिक्वायरमेंट इज लाइक दिस, कि गिव मी द कोर्स नेम एंड आई वांट टू गिव यू द स्टूडेंट डिटेल। So I have given the course name is like that Java. In the Java, how many students are there? So in that case, the roll number, name, marks, address, and then after course, right? This value will be printed. अब ये courses है क्या? ये courses हमारा कोर्स का डिटेल है, मतलब यहाँ पे सारे कोर्स के डिटेल प्रिंट होंगे, जैसे कि रोल नंबर प्रिंट हुआ 1, नेम, मार्क्स, एड्रेस और कोर्सेज। दिस इज द सेट। अब सेट के अंदर ये कोर्स आएगा। तो अब ये एक कोर्स का जावा का कोर्स आईडी, नेम, फीस, डिस्क्रिप्शन विल बी प्रिंटेड, एंड अगेन हियर स्टूडेंट्स विल बी देयर। अब इस स्टूडेंट्स में फिर उस स्टूडेंट के डिटेल, सो इट विल बिकम अ रिकर्सिव कॉल and it will throw an stack overflow problem. You're going to get, even though your mapping is correct, but due to that JSON here, यहाँ पे जो ऑब्जेक्ट आएगा स्टूडेंट, स्टूडेंट के अंदर कोर्स, कोर्स के अंदर स्टूडेंट, स्टूडेंट के अंदर कोर्स, so it will throw an stack overflow exception. To avoid this kind of recursive call, what we need to do, we need to use a JSON ignore. कि हमें बस जावा का कोर्स का नाम दे, हमें सिर्फ स्टूडेंट के डिटेल दो, उसके अंदर पड़े हुए कोर्स का डिटेल हमें मत प्रिंट कर दो जेसन में। आई होप यू गॉट द पॉइंट हियर। Good. So here the next concept is pagination and shorting. Now pagination is shorting in very important and interesting concept. पेजिनेशन, पहले हम शॉर्टिंग की बात करते हैं, फिर पेजिनेशन की बात करेंगे। शॉर्टिंग क्या होता है आपको पता है, असेंडिंग ऑर्डर, डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर। और हम जावा में हम शॉर्ट कैसे करते हैं, फटाफट बताओ आप हमें। व्हाट इज हाउ वी यूज्ड टू सॉर्ट इन जावा? Please confirm. Collections dot sort. No, we have the two ways. One is a comparable and another one is a comparator. Comparable, comparator, both are. What is the difference between comparable comparators? Super important interviewer question. If you have any doubt, please recall this in your collection. Of course, collections dot sort, इसमें हम comparator object pass करते हैं और वो sort करता है हमारा। So sorting का जो details है, sort हमारे पास दो तरीके से डेटा हो सकते हैं। एक तो हम जावा के अंदर sort करें, right? Suppose that you are taking the list of employee, just like that you are pulling the data. इस department में कितने employee हैं? And in that particular department, let's say that in account department we have 500 employees are there, and I want to get the sorted data. Then my business requirement is like that. अब हमारे पास दो ऑप्शन है। पहला ऑप्शन ये है कि what we can do that we can get the entire employee details in Java, and in the Java itself we will apply the sorting technique by using collections.sort, by using comparable, comparator, preset. We can do the sorting for that employee list. Can't we do that? Yes, but it is not efficient way. What we should do that, हमारे पास एक दूसरा तरीका है कि हम डेटाबेस से जो लिस्ट हम फेच करें ना, डेटाबेस में ही शॉर्ट हो जाए। वो शॉर्टिंग डेटाबेस पे ही हो जाए। Based on our query, it will give out the sorted data, and that data we need not do any processing in further anything in Java. That will be much more faster. Yes, and in Java we use that sorting using what? Order by. So sorry, in SQL. So in SQL we use order by, and in Java We use comparable comparative. So better option क्या है? Better option is that in your SQL, you should pull the data, which will take your sorted data. It will take too much less time, very less time it will take compared to sorting the data in your Java. अब डेटाबेस से ही डेटा को आप sorted order में निकाल लो आप. Make sense? This concept is called sorting. Okay. Pagination का concept क्या कहता है? Pagination is saying that if you are calling that find by ID. Let's say that I'm calling find by ID and you are getting that entire object, right? Let's say that I'm calling find all. So it will going to return list of your employee or list of student. Let's say that. Like that. What's the problem with this approach? अगर employee is a student, जो भी list में return कर रहा है find all, if it is having 1 lakh record, 1 lakh student or 10 lakh students are there, million of students, billions of students are there. Will it not going to pull all the record? Yes, it will. It will pull out all the record of student and those many objects will be created. It will be superly, you can say that what it will highly degrade your performance. Unnecessarily object will be created. You should not load the entire record at once. It will be a time consuming, it will be a memory inefficient. So in order to save your memory and time, what we can do, we can take the record page by page. Page by page, you can set the limit. कि हमें कितने पेज में सारे रिकॉर्ड को डिवाइड करके how many record I want each page. You might have seen that some website or some you can go to the Amazon or Flipkart next button and Google also it is there. So like that you can decide that those many records will come page by page or record by record. It will enhance your application performance. Make sense? What is the use of pagination and sorting? Good. Now how we'll do that? Let's go with our notes. I have some notes with there using pagination and sorting. So instead of loading unsorted data from the database and sorting them inside our Java application, we can fetch the sorted data from the database. It will enhance our application performance. Jayad is saying, but this pagination will be taken care by front end. Front end में सिर्फ buttons होते हैं. Jayad, वो link है. Button क्या है? वो एक link है. If you click on that, then that number will go there, and based on that number, it will pull out the data from your database, or it will hit your API. API will give those many records, and those records will be displayed to the front end. It's not like that कि आपका back end front end को पूरा 1 लाख record दे रहा है और front end उसे page by page display कर रहा है. It's not like that. By clicking any button or any number, it is basically calling on your API by passing those numbers, and based on that number, your API will give those many data. Is it clear, Zayed? Good. So here we can fetch the sorted data from the database. It will be too much time saving and memory saving, memory efficient. So Spring Data GPU provided default implementation of sorting with the help of pagination and sorting repository interface. Just like that, we have what GPU repository. उसी तरह हमारे पास एक और repository interface है, pagination and sorting repository interface. So you can say that, just write that here. To support the paging and sorting concept, inside Spring Data JPU, there is an interface by name paging and sorting repository. Paging and sorting repository, just like JPA repository. जिस तरह हमारे पास JPA repository उसी तरह ये भी हमारे पास एक इंटरफेस है. Now, prior to Java Spring Data JPA 3.0, अभी कुछ ही दिन पहले Data JPA 3.x came. But prior to 3.0, paging and sorting repository was the parent interface of JPA repository interface. मतलब ये आप जो JPA repository interface आप यूज कर रहे हो ना, ये इसका पेरेंट इंटरफेस था. तो आप किसी पुराने नोट्स में देखोगे या कहीं स्टैक ओवरफ्लो या किसी ब्लॉग पे, so you will be able to see that this repository this JPA repository, इसका जो पेरेंट था वो था हमारा पेजिंग एंड सॉर्टिंग रिपोजिटरी. So it is basically, here it is in your notes, it might have written there. Yeah. So prior to that, JPA, this paging and sorting repository is a parent interface of JPA repository, but after Spring Data JPA 3.0, we need to extend this. We need to extend this paging and sorting repository interface explicitly in order to use a paging and sorting concept. Now see here, prior to JPA 3.0, CRUD repository, उसके बाद paging and sorting repository, and then JPA repository. Make sense? Prior to Spring Data JPA 3.0. लेकिन after Spring Data JPA 3.0, CRUD repository, उसका child interface है list CRUD repository and then JPA repository. Paging and sorting repository is separated from the above hierarchy. Suryakant, got the point here? So if you still refer that old documentation and notes, you might come across like that paging and sorting is the parent interface of JPA repository. I have seen that lots of MCQs are also there. Paging and sorting is the parent of your JPA repository. लेकिन ये data JPA 3.0 के पहले की बात थी. In the latest Spring Data JPA, paging and sorting repository is separated from this hierarchy. So JPA repository parent is a list CRUD repository और उसका parent है CRUD repository. Let me show this hierarchy. So JPA repository, if you open this, now this is, see here you are using which version of Data JPA? Let me show you. .7.4. So this is the Spring Boot Starter 2.7.4, and you will able to notice that is JPA repository का जो parent है वो है paging and sorting repository. Make sense? और paging and sorting का जो है, that is the parent is CRUD repository. Okay, but now you will see there, let me just close all of them and I will show you the latest application, which is here. And if you see this repository, I will show you the version of the Spring Boot for this application. The version is 3.0.2. इस version में आप देखो यहाँ पे ये जो this is the JPA repository, and if you click on this, it is a child of list CRUD repository, and list CRUD repository is a child of CRUD repository. I hope you got the point here. Please confirm. Cool. Now बहुत ही simple है. तो अगर आपको paging and sorting use करना है तो इस repository को explicitly you need to import that. You need to import or you need to extend this inside your repository in addition to JPA repository. मतलब अगर आपको paging and sorting use करना है तभी आप इसका use करो, otherwise आप सिर्फ normal JPA repository ही use करो. That is the mean to say here. Now there are two types of sorting mechanism in Spring Data JPA. The first one is the static sorting, second one is the dynamic sorting. The static sorting के बारे में हम कल बात कर चुके थे. We have already discussed about that static sorting. Sorting. Recall in static sorting, what we used to do there. In this, we can get the sorted data by defining some of the method inside our repository interface following by particular convention. Like just like that, find by, order by name descending. तो यहाँ पे आपको एक मेथड डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा आपको आपके डेटा जेपीए में. ये हम कल बात कर चुके थे. If you recall our Spring Boot data JPA notes yesterday, and if you see here, finding by multiple field, finding by more complex queries, we discussed about this one, right? So here you will notice there is here order by. If you want to use, find the top 5 by order by name descending. So this is what, by using this convention, if you are writing this sorting mechanism, then in fact you can use that pagination also by top 5 or top 6, top 10 record you can access from this one. This is called static sorting, static pagination. क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्या है, ये मेथड नेम फिक्स हो जाएगा. एक बार आपने ये मेथड नेम दिया तो ये मेथड नेम फिक्स हो जाएगा. इनफैक्ट ये डायरेक्शन भी फिक्स हो जाएगी, which direction you want to sort, in ascending order or in descending order. Can you, if you define this method at once, अब क्या आप इस मेथड के यूज करके आप एड्रेस के अकॉर्डिंग सॉर्ट कर सकते हो, मार्क्स के अकॉर्डिंग सॉर्ट कर सकते हो स्टूडेंट को? Can you perform that? Please confirm. No, because here name is fixed. You have given the name, order by name you have mentioned here. So you can't say at runtime कि हम ये चेंज कर दे, अभी नेम के अकॉर्डिंग हो रहा है, कल को ये एड्रेस के अकॉर्डिंग हो जाए, या मार्क्स के अकॉर्डिंग हो जाए, या सैलरी के अकॉर्डिंग हो जाए, अभी डिसेंडिंग है बाद में असेंडिंग हो जाए. So that's why it is called static sorting. I hope you got the point. So by using this one, and I believe that you have done some practice also. If you have not done, I recommend everyone at least try this one, static sorting also, by defining these methods, and as well as this direction also. Now here column name and sort direction are defined at the development time and cannot be changed during runtime. Okay, dynamic sorting, here we can specify the field by using which we want to sort our data and the direction at runtime by using sort class. अभी हमें क्या करना होगा, एक sort class का यूज करके हम डिफाइन कर सकते हैं डायनेमिकली कि किस फील्ड के अकॉर्डिंग हमें सॉर्ट करना है. And not only that, we can define the direction also. Sort class is just a specification that provides sorting option for a database queries. This sort class having some static methods by using which we can specify the field and direction dynamically. अभी sort class के अंदर क्या है कि बहुत सारे static factory method की तरह है जिनका आप use करके आप field किस field से sort करना है and which direction you want to sort. You can decide. For example, here sort class is having a static method called by. इसमें आप डिफाइन कर सकते हो किस फील्ड से आपको सॉर्ट करना है, एड्रेस, सैलरी, नेम, राइट, क्वांटिटी, प्राइस, व्हाट द फील्ड यू वांट, एंड देन डॉट यू आर गोइंग टू स्पेसिफाई दैट डायरेक्शन, असेंडिंग और डिसेंडिंग. Make sense? How much it is simple? It is a static factory method by using which it will return the sort class object. Now here you can define this one by combining multiple fields. कि हम दो फील्ड के साथ हम कंबाइन करके सॉर्ट करें. For example, here, sort by address descending, and then after you need to call another method, you need to append another method, and this is called chaining mechanism. Chaining mechanism, यहाँ पे हमने ये sort का ही ऑब्जेक्ट रिटर्न होगा, इसके अंदर फिर हमने एक और वैल्यू को ऐड कर दिया, and sort by mark ascending. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि आप sort करो पहले एड्रेस को डिसेंडिंग के अकॉर्डिंग, और अगर दो एड्रेस सेम हो जाए, बराबर हो जाए, तो फिर उनको मार्क्स के अकॉर्डिंग असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में सॉर्ट करना है. Just like that, you can use the comparable to compare two fields. कि सारे फील्ड को शॉर्ट करें, अगर कुछ बराबर आ जाते हैं तो वो मार्क्स के अकॉर्डिंग शॉर्ट हो जाए. Does it make sense? ठीक है, अब ये शॉर्ट का ऑब्जेक्ट हमें मिल गया. अब क्या करना है शॉर्ट का ऑब्जेक्ट? After getting this short class object, we need to pass this short class object inside the find all method of paging and sorting repository interface. जिस तरह find all method हमारे पास JPA repository के अंदर भी है और हमने इसका यूज भी किया था. If you just see that our first example of data JPA, here is the data JPA example, and in this, let me show you service student service IMPM. And here you will notice that is I want to get all the student details. So I call the find all on a student repository. So find all method is there in the student repository, but there's another find all method is there in paging and sorting repository as well. लेकिन यहाँ पे dash दिया हुआ है, मतलब it will take your sort object as a parameter. Let me show that finding that paging and sorting interface और उसका method भी हम दिखाते हैं आपको. So use this and that's the relationship example. This is the old example. That means on a developed on old version. So in that one, here is your student JPA repository. Here is your paging and sorting repository. Now you'll notice there is a find all method. Find all method return type which is iterable. Basically iterable है तो आप list में भी convert कर सकते हो. Iterable is the parent interface of list. And here it is taking your sort object. So एक बार आपने sort object बना लिया, that means once you have defined this sort object by this way, किस field को कैसे sort करना है, then you need to call this find all by passing this value, and it will return that your value either in the iterable or you can get that value in a page object. Page object list object की तरह ही होता है, लेकिन page object से आप value को access करने के लिए get content method को call करना पड़ेगा. You need to call that method. So either you can use in the page object or in a iterable object. For example, here this example, see here, that same student class object I just used, and here, let me just use this one itself, or same, I'm creating that on that project itself. Close all of them. And I'm creating a new project. Paging and sorting. Next. And here I'm going to add few dependencies like data drive, MySQL driver, Spring Web, DevTools, data JPA, and I'm selecting here Lombok. Lombok के बारे में अभी बस कुछ ही देरों में बात करेंगे after paging and sorting, so that we will get that some getter setter method. Next. And few details I'm going to copy it from here. Everything is simple, that is no ID. Okay, cool. So this is the details I have added. My boilerplates are almost done. Now I need to create one class, that is the model package student class. So Java new class. It will be in the side of model. And here this is the student class. Copy the fields. This data actually should be not here, it should be after entity. Right. Yeah, cool. So my bean class is ready. What is this data annotation? ये है बस getter setter generate करने का तरीका है. अब ये shortcut है पे annotation लगा दो, ये सारे field के getter setter बन जाएंगे. Okay. So this class is ready. Now I need to do next student repository inside repository package. So here is the important thing. So I need to create one interface. That should be inside com.msi.repository. and this should be student repository. This student repository should extend. Is constructor also generated? We are going to discuss Lokesh just in a moment. It's a very simple, very simple. So here we need to use that extend to interfaces because I'm going to use the first basic हमें तो normal method चाहिए ही चाहिए like that find by ID and other methods. So for that I need that JPA repository, which will take your bean entity class and here the ID field. लेकिन हमें साथ साथ pagination and sorting भी चाहिए. So as we know that one interface can extend multiple more than one interface also. Yes or no? Please confirm. Yes. So here we need to import paging and sorting repository, having this student class, same like that, and integer. Like this. So that's it. अब ये paging and sorting interface के अंदर आपको क्या मिलेगा? Let's see that this time this is a normal repository. Here you will get that find all method, find all by passing the pageable and sort. आपके पास pageable के लिए भी है, आपके पास sort method भी है. Pageable will return the page object, sort and find all will return the iterable object. And how to convert this iterable to the list, we will see that in a moment. Okay, so this thing is done. So here is the same thing here, student repository, which is extending to interface. लेकिन ये 3.0 के पहले बस आप इसी इंटरफेस से आपका सारा काम हो जाता है. लेकिन 3.x में इन्होंने ऐसा चेंज कर दिया है कि अगर आपको पेजिंग शॉर्टिंग एक्सप्लिसिटली चाहिए तभी आप इस इंटरफेस का यूज करो, अदरवाइज सिंपल आप JPA repository यूज कर लो. Okay, now I need to create that student service where I want to sort the data. So for this one, I need to create this student service interface. And in this service, I have just written two methods. पहला method है add student, and the second method is get sorted student list with the field. कि हमें ये method हम जब call करें ना, तो यहाँ पे हम field pass करें string में कि किस field से sorted data चाहिए and direction. For example, हम pass कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे हमें data चाहिए sorted student का based on their marks and in the descending order. So it will give me all the student details sorted with the marks with descending order. If I pass here name ascending, so it will give me the student list in a sorted by name and in ascending order. Does it make sense? And this method is to simply add a student object in our table. Let's go quickly with the implementation. This is the implementation. So here what we need to do, first of all, private student repository, and should be auto-wired. Okay, now we need to implement these methods. So I have already done that. Let's save our time. So it's the student repo, and simply we need to save this method like this student repo. That's it. And this one, how it is implemented, this is the important one. इसका आप implementation देखो हमने कैसे लिखा है यहाँ पे. Now, see here. This is that short in our data JP. Short हमारे पास दो है. एक Spring Framework data domain short. We should not use this one. Data Spring data web property short. We need to use this class. Sorry, no. It's wrong. We need to use the sort class. This one, domain short. That's good. Now, see here how I have done that. So इसे हम थोड़ा और simple करें ना, तो इसे हम कुछ ऐसे कर सकते हैं. But from here, as the spot short is equal to like this. Now, watch carefully. What I have done. I'm saying that direction. The direction dot equals direction is string है. If it is what ascending AST. अगर ये direction कुछ AST से आता है, then I am saying that short by field ascending order. Else short by field descending order. Make sense? It is not properly 100% correct here this implementation. So आप कह सकते हो कि अगर direction हम pass कर दें यहाँ पे A, B, C और X, Y, Z, then what will happen? So it will going to do sort in a descending order only. अगर A, C है तभी ascending में होगा, otherwise किसी भी हाल में ये descending order में ही short करेगा. It's up to your wish कि आप ये sort object कैसे बनाते हो. Basically, you need to define the sort object by this, right? So based on the what field direction you want to access, accordingly, I'm using the ternary operator and I'm returning the sort object. And you can pass the sort object here. Now, is it okay? Please confirm. Cool. तो बस हमने ये statement ये extra line लेने की जगह पे हमने इसे यहाँ पे print कर दिया था. It is there in your notes, but you can simplify this way as well. Not a problem. Okay. So this thing is done. Now I need to the last part, that is your controller. So I need to create the student controller. And this student controller should be annotated with the rest controller. And first, let me paste these methods so we can save our time. Auto wire this student service and write the method those APIs. Cool. So let me explain this one, how I'm writing this endpoint. So this is the S service, it is your student service. So add करने के लिए क्या करना है, कुछ नहीं, हमने post mapping लिया है students, request body is student, and that's simply I'm calling the add student method. It will return the saved student, wrap this in a response entity as created. Nothing great here. You already know about this method. Now get started student. I'm taking the field here. किस field से start करना है, right? Field I'm taking as a path variable. और request parameters हम ले रहे हैं क्या, direction. So direction, in which direction I want to show. So I'm taking both value field as a path variable, and from the request parameter, I'm taking the direction. And simply I'm calling this method. It will return the list, the same return list will be returned. Does it make sense? Please confirm. Hello? Let's test this method whether it's working or not. Can't take both parameters as path variable. Yes, it's your wish. आपको कैसे value लेना है, आप path variable से ले लो, आप किसी bean class को object बना के ले लो. It's your wish. Nothing great here. So student controller. Okay. Go to the student class. That is your model object. And here name, address, and marks. So simply I'm going to drop table student. So student table got dropped. And now since it is an auto, so it will create that. We check out that show tables. Cool. So we are ready to run our example. So my application got started. Here the table will be created. And now let's try to, okay, some problem is there. Controller required being of the student. Yes, auto wired the service. Yes, it is auto wired, but the problem is here, this one annotate with the service. Because this class was not registered with the container. Yeah, क्योंकि ये क्लास रजिस्टर नहीं हुआ था इसलिए इसे ऑटो वायर में वो ऑब्जेक्ट मिला ही नहीं है रिपोजिटरी इंटरफेस को करने की जरूरत नहीं है इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली now it should work. Cool. So my application got started. Let's try to register some students. So it should be post and 8080/students. And here we need to pass that in a body. So let's check out that the data is a name, address, and marks. So cool. So this is my first record. Should be added. Added. Now let me try to add another one. Let's say that Sunil is also in Chennai. 720. Added. Amit. Pune. 560. Ish. Kolkata. So those many records are there. Now let's check out that our sorting method is working properly or not. So I'm calling the second another endpoint that is student controller. And in this, get sorted student. So get sorted student slash किस field से sort चाहिए हम चाहते हैं marks के according sort. So marks. Now I need to pass that direction. Direction is equal to, and here I am giving a ascending order. It should be get. Remove all of them, not required. Now you can see here this field I am taking as what direction as a request parameter or value हमने क्या रखा है direction. Right? So now direction is, let's check out that whether you are getting that in ascending order marks basis. So here 560, 720, 860. Yes, it's working properly. Let's say that in a descending. Now 860, 720, 700, 560. आप कह सकते हो यहाँ पे इसी करेक्ट लॉजिक या हमें एक जीएसटी की जगह हम यहाँ पर डायरेक्ट कुछ भी लिखे ना तो ये डिसेंडिंग ही होगा असेंडिंग के लिए आपको एएससी पास करना पड़ेगा because it is our implementation and I know that you can do that one easily how to restrict that one using ABC or XYZ. Is it clear? Please confirm. Yes, default is descending. अब यहाँ पे आप डायरेक्शन आप मार्क्स के अकॉर्डिंग नहीं चाहिए हमें चाहिए किसके अकॉर्डिंग लेट्स से दैट यूजिंग नेम and direction is AOC. Now give the request. Amit come first. It's Amit. Dinesh DRS. So it's your wish how you are going to do that one. Cool. So this example I will also share with you along with that relationship example. I hope everyone is comfortable with sorting. How much it is simple. Anyone having any doubt? Please confirm. Cool. Now next one we need to use the pagination. Pagination भी बहुत ही simple है. आपको pagination में कौन सा मेथड यूज करना है? वही find all मेथड, लेकिन उसके अंदर यूज करना है आपको what? Let me show you. Where is the controller? Here paging and shorting. Here also you need to use find all method, but here you need to pass the pageable object. Pageable object, and this pageable object will return the page. Page is similar kind of list itself. एक पेज रिटर्न करेगा, उस पेज में कितने रिकॉर्ड होंगे और उस रिकॉर्ड से आप लिस्ट निकाल सकते हो. Okay, so let's do that. How we are going to use here. So pagination. So Spring Data GPA support pagination, which helps to manage and display the large amount of data in various pages and number of record inside our application. जहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा रिकॉर्ड हो और वहां से हम पेज बाय पेज हम डेटा निकाल सकते हैं. With this, we can specify the limit of our record with per page. In our database, we use what? Limit kind of concept in MySQL. So ये भी हमारा limit और offset ही use करता है internally to implement this pageable. So just like that, use the short parameter inside find all method. We can pass the pageable object to the find all method to make use of pagination. अब ये pageable just like that. Here find all pageable object हमें pass करना पड़ेगा. Just like that, we are passing the short method, short class object. अब ये pageable object कैसे काम करता है? दूसरा एक और ऑप्शन है कि we can combine pagination and dynamic sorting with the help of pageable object. या तो हम pageable से सिर्फ पेज नंबर पास करें कि कितने रिकॉर्ड कितने पर पेज हमें रिकॉर्ड चाहिए, या फिर हम चाहे तो इसमें हम शॉर्टिंग को भी ऐड कर सकते हैं. So we can combine both pagination and dynamic sorting with the help of this pageable object. Let's see here. So इसका जो सिंटेक्स होता है पेजेबल ऑब्जेक्ट लेने के लिए आपको एक पेज रिक्वेस्ट नाम का क्लास है, उसके अंदर एक स्टैटिक मेथड है ऑफ, एंड हियर यू नीड टू पास 05. व्हाट इज द 05 हियर? यू नीड टू पास एनी नंबर हियर एंड देन आफ्टर द शॉर्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. बाय यूजिंग दैट यू आर गोइंग टू गेट द पेजेबल ऑब्जेक्ट, और ये पेजेबल ऑब्जेक्ट को आप पास कर दो फाइंड ऑल के अंदर, यू आर गोइंग टू गेट द पेज ऑब्जेक्ट, एंड फ्रॉम द पेज यू कैन गेट दैट गेट कंटेंट बाय कॉलिंग getting that your list. Now this 0 and 5 is what? It is your offset and limit. Yes. For example, if you have 100 records, so total 20 pages will be there. और हर पेज में 5-5 records. Make sense? Per page, how many records will be there? और ये कहाँ से start हो रहा है? 0. From which page you are starting and how many record per page you are going to take. Now, if you want to specify the sorting also along with this pageable, so you can create like this 05 sort by name. This one, this 05 is your limit and offset, and sort by name descending. This is your sort class object. And then you can pass your what? Find by name, and you can pass your find by name is your convention basically. Find by is a clause, and in that clause you can use the find by name. So ये हमारा name है और साथ में आप you can specify the pageable object. So pageable object is not like that you can use only in find all method. You can use by any kind of find by clause. Any kind of find by clause like find by name, find by address, any type of list you are going to get. The second parameter you can pass the pageable object. And it will return the value, not the list, it will return the value as a page. Does it make sense? Please confirm. Good. Now, here see that how I have created the page object here. That is page request of page number -1. Page number -1. What is the page number? How many page number you are getting? That means from the parameter. Parameter से हमें page number अगर 10 चाहिए तो 10 में ही 9 से start होगा. अगर हमने वहां पे 1 दिया कि पहला page 1 - 1, that means it will be 0. That means the first page. Because it will 0 will indicate the first page. So somebody is saying that, hey, I want that first page, so he will pass 1, so it will become 1 - 1 0. Does it make sense? Why I have used the page number -1? Cool. This is your page size. That means total how many size? कितने page होंगे आपके? 5 page होंगे, 6 page होंगे. अगर 5 दिया तो मतलब like that. Yes, 0 is the index. That's why I just use page number -1. And here's short direction dot equals ASC. Otherwise, short direction, that is here what? Field, descending. So this is here what? Short dot equals ascending, then short by field in ascending order, otherwise short by yeah, short by descending order. पृथ्वी is saying please repeat the first parameter. First parameter क्या है पृथ्वी? यहाँ पे ये आपका किस पेज से आपको स्टार्ट होगा? फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप यहाँ पे बात करते हैं हम 0 and 5, तो मतलब अगर आपके पास 100 रिकॉर्ड है तो टोटल हमारे पास कितने 5 पेज हमें चाहिए, सारे रिकॉर्ड 5 पेज में चाहिए। और कौन सा पेज हमें फर्स्ट पेज चाहिए? दैट मींस इट शुड स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट पेज, इट शुड स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट पेज। अगर सपोज दैट यहाँ पे हमने कुछ ऐसा कर दिया, अब आप मुझे बताओ जो पहला रिजल्ट मिलेगा हमें, पहला स्टूडेंट वो कौन सा होगा? इट विल बी द 6th स्टूडेंट। मेक सेंस? दूसरे पेज का पहला स्टूडेंट। So that means that I'm going to start from the second number page. That means 6th student record will be there. I hope you got the point here. So either you can pass that this one and you can specify the sorting as well. Now modify the above application in the repository, and here I have created this pageable object. So let me show you. Here we have the AWT pageable. Don't use this. Spring Framework data domain pageable. We have to use this one. Okay, now first one, this both are here. This one is a JPQL. Agree? And this one I have used the convention that is find by. लेकिन यहाँ ये हमारा JPQL है. तो JPQL है मतलब मेथड का नाम कुछ भी हो सकता है. Right? And here in the parameter I am taking pageable. Pageable means what? कि कितने हमें page by page record चाहिए. Here I am not using find all method. I am using pageable. Now this is the query from student. From student means, can anyone guess what is the meaning of from student? It is similar like that. Select star from student, all the record. So all the student record will come in a page object, page of the student. Page of the student, you can think it is like list of the student. लेकिन ये आपको पेज में हमें देता है रिकॉर्ड. कौन से पेज में? यहाँ पेज बाय पेज, it will fetch the data. And that page specification you need to specify using this object. Cool. So that method will be there. Now this method, if you notice, find by address. This is I'm using convention. It's not at all JPQL. Address is a non-key ID, non-key field. So यहाँ पे ये string address and here pageable. It will return also the student page of the student key. Address wise कितने student है, that value will return using paginess and support. Okay, this is the first step. Now the next one. Add the following method inside the student service interface. So let's implement this one. Student service. Now listen carefully. This method, see here, get all student page wise. This is my method here, service method. Integer page number, कौन से पेज से स्टार्ट करना है, एंड नंबर ऑफ रिकॉर्ड, उस पेज में कितने रिकॉर्ड चाहिए हमें, किस पेज से स्टार्ट करना है और कितने रिकॉर्ड चाहिए हमें. Does it make sense? How many record per page we need that? And it will return the data accordingly. Make sense? Okay, Mohammed Zaid is saying that -1 and 10 kind of. Minus data, if you'll pass, you will taste that one. It will not work properly. It will start from 0, first index itself. Okay. Now, see here. Implement the method in the service IMPL class. So how I have implemented this method, let me copy this. ठीक है. So here I want to use that method of paging and sorting repository. I want to call repo.findAll, right? So student repo, basically it should be student repository dot find all. Find all method में हम pageable object का हम object pass कर सकते हैं. और ये pageable object हमने कैसे बनाया? See that page number -1 and number of records I'm passing here. So if somebody is saying that I need the first page, so it will become 0. If you'll say that second page, so it will become 1. और कितने records चाहिए? तो हमें बन गया pageable का object. And in this case, I am not specifying the short object. If you want to specify the short object, you can specify like this: short dot by and whatever name you want to specify. So by using this also you can create the pageable object, and without short also you can create the pageable object. I hope you got the point here. Please confirm. So this method find all method belong to paging and sorting repository. तो हम उसका use कर रहे हैं, and I just pass this p. It will going to return me the page of a student. Okay. Now the same thing I am using JPQL. जो JPQL अभी हमने लिख रखा है. Let me save this one first. So same thing I have used in the JPQL. It should be student repository. So in JPQL, if you notice, here it is, where student repository, this one, like get all students, passing the pageable. This one I have used using JPQL. तो आप JPQL में भी use कर सकते हो, किसी और भी convention में आप जो use कर रहे हो वहाँ पे भी pageable pass कर सकते हो. That means you can pass the pageable anywhere, and that pageable object I am passing here using JPQL. So I just created that S repository, get all students passing the pageable. Does it make sense? This should be the student repository. Passing that pageable object. Now, to get that value from this page object, page से हमें list निकालने के लिए, इस page से list निकालने के लिए, you need to call page.getContent, and it will return you the list. Got it? Now, find by address, if you want to access, so find by address, you'll pass the Delhi and pass this p object, and got that list. So what I'm going to do that here, I'm putting that this statement in a comment, and I'm simply using this. So getting that find all, and this is the paging and sorting repository, and using that I'm getting that page, and this should be what I'm coming this page.getContent, get the list, return this list. So in this one, I have shown you all the three possible approach how to use this pageable. आपको pageable का object कैसे बनाना है? Using page request by passing the initial page number and how many number of records. You can combine with using sorting technique as well. Once you get the pageable object, you can pass this pageable object either in the find all method, either in the method whatever you are writing using JPQL, either if you are using any find by clause, there also you can pass your pageable object. Does it make sense? ये pageable को आप कहीं पे भी pass कर सकते हो, and you are going to get the list. The condition should be what? It should return the list, and the value will be the page. And that page, from the page, you can get your list back. Cool. So this method got implemented. Save this one. And now the last step, that is add the following endpoint to get that value one by one. So let me just copy this, paste that in my controller. So get students page wise handler, right? So here path variable से हम page number ले रहे हैं कि कौन से page number से, and the next one I'm taking that request parameter number of record, how many record I want to access. Okay, so using that I want to access the value one by one. So let's save this one, try to access this endpoint students and get that using page number. students. Page number that is in the path variable. So let's say that I'm taking one first page and then after question mark, and this is your what? Number of record. How many record I want to access? Copy this. Number of records is equal to, let's say that 2. So पहले पेज से हम 2 records चाहते हैं access करना. So let's try to access this. So here we are seeing that first record, second record, roll number 1, roll number 2. And the interesting thing, I have used a SQL. So you will notice this SQL will log in a console. So it might have used that order. That means limit here. So that whatever the limit in MySQL, it is used. Make sense? Please confirm. Okay, now if I try to access this one using different record. So let's say that I want to pass here request as हमें पहले पेज से नहीं हमें दूसरे पेज से चाहिए data, right? So here I'm giving the request. That means page number 2 and number of record. Let's say that 2. Okay, now let me show you first how many records are there. So let's start from student. Total 4 records are there. Now, can you guess which record will come? I'm saying that initial page should be 2 and number of record 3. So 3 record. मतलब हर पेज 3 record हो. Total 4 record है ना? तो कौन सा record आएगा? 4th one. You'll see that. Only the 4th one. Dinesh will come. क्योंकि 3 record के 2 पेज बनेंगे. पहले पेज में 3 record आ गया. दूसरा पेज में बचा 1 record. That record will come. Make sense? So second page, how many number of record you want to access? So by doing so, you can apply the pageable and sorting concept. Am I clear? Cool. This notes, I hope it is also already shared with you. Please confirm this notes is shared or not. If it is not there, then definitely it will be there. It will going to be shared. By the way, this all the application, whatever I have implemented today, all the application I will upload that after the session. Okay, one thing I want to announce here, that is what for assignment. Assignment, you are going to get what? I guess Varun has shared one assignment, or assignment is there for related to Swaggy application, right? One assignment initial day, it was shared with you. So in that application itself, initially there was no database connection and nothing was there. But the same assignment, it got enhanced, which is having, you have to use the relationship, pagination, sorting, and all those concepts you need to utilize in that particular application. Make sense? So you need to think, what are the table, what would be the relationship, how the relationship will be established, one-to-one, one-to-many, and design that schema designing. So listen, the thing is that whenever you are designing any kind of application, create a backend and front end both. Yes, if you want, you can create the front end, because front end you already know the JavaScript and HTML, CSS, so it will not be a big task. Now, whenever you are designing any application, so first thing is that you need to think about that the database schema kya honge. Object orientation design and database schema design too is a very, very important aspect. Somebody is saying that Nisha is asking, in console query in which language? It is in the query in MySQL. I'm confused. Yes, it is the MySQL query. Because since you are using the MySQL JDBC driver, so it will generate that query which is supported by MySQL only. Make sense, Nisha? Please confirm. If you are using the Oracle, so Oracle supported query will be generated. Here, basically, it is using dynamically generated query. ये query पहले से लिखे लिखा है नहीं है. Based on your method, the query will be executed. Right? So accordingly, it will use this here. Count first, it is using that count method. कितने record है, and according to that, it will pass here that limit. That limit is called. So it is taking some alias support, and based on that, and this is printing due to what? Due to you have added in this application.properties So SQL, true. That's why you are able to see that generated SQL on the console. Now, one last thing before wrap up this particular topic about this data JPA. That is this application I have created. That means this one is Spring Boot relationship app in which the student and course win-to-many relationship is demonstrated. Here, if you are importing this application, make sure that you are using proper version of Spring Boot. If you are just going to import this one, so at initial stage, it will give an error. Here, it may not resolve because already you are using Spring Boot latest version. So in order to resolve this version, you need to update your that is Spring Boot project. So go to the Maven and update project and click on force update. Then automatically this particular version also will be downloaded. Otherwise, initially you may get some exception. Make sense? Please confirm. Cool. Now, before wrap up this session, let's quickly talk about this Lombok. So some basic ideas, some basic setup. How will you do that? We will going to talk about this Swagger and logging in tomorrow's session. Those are very small things. So Lombok हम already use कर चुके हैं, आपको बता चुके हैं Lombok कैसे use करना है. So इससे आपके project का boilerplate code हम resolve करते हैं. That means getter setter में value and then after equals hash code to string. So it will save our time. Basically, it is not mandatory. It will just for development to make our development life easy. It was given there, right? Now, first of all, in order to use a Lombok, your ID should have the support. आपका ID को दो चीजें आपको करनी पड़ेगी. एक तो आपको ID में configure करना है, and दूसरी आपको उसकी dependency add करनी है. Then only we are going to allow this use this Lombok. In my STS, I have just selected the. If you just notice, I have just selected that Lombok dependency. And if you notice in my project, let me just show that in your project, which I have just now created. And in form.xml, here you will notice project Lombok, the dependency is added. So this is the first thing. That means your second thing, the dependency should be there. But the first thing, कि आपका जो ये STS ID है या Eclipse ID है, Lombok should be configured in your STS ID. Then only it will work. और ये configure कैसे करना है हमें? That is the tricky part. Otherwise, even though this annotation will be added, but you are not going to get the getter setter. You are going to get an exception or error. So how to do that? First, you need to configure the Lombok project on a STS ID, and steps is what? Download the lombok.jar file. तो पहले तो आपको क्या करना है? Lombok के jar file को download करना है. कैसे करोगे आप download इसे? बहुत ही simple है. So you need to go to the MVN repository, Lombok, MVN repository, MVN dependency. And don't go to the project. You can download from Lombok official website also. You can refer here and you can check out that what are the annotation, what are their meaning. Go to have some lookup of this official website. But you can go to the MVN repository. This is your MVN repository. This is the latest version. You can click on this. And here there is a jar option. Don't go to this dependency first. Here there is a jar option. आप इसे click करोगे तो ये jar file आपका download हो जाएगा. It will automatically download it here. This jar file is downloaded. In my system, it is already there. That's why in a bracket 2 is coming. So here is your Lombok jar. Right? This jar file you need to execute. You need to run this. कैसे run करेंगे इसे हम? You can directly double click on this. Or by using command prompt also, there is a command. You can execute this Lombok.jar. Once you run this, automatically this is an installer. You need to specify the location. किसका location आपको specify करना है? वो location जहां से आप STS open करते हो. तो मेरे system में STS कहाँ पे है? Let me show you. That is in first. Let me just go to this installer. And here you need to click on that specify location. And in my computer, it is in my computer D drive. There is a folder within Java, and here you will see that STS 4.14 release. And in this is your icon, launcher icon. जिससे हम launch करते हैं ना, वो icon आपको select करना है, and then you need to select this, and then after install update. You need to click on those. Since I have already done that, so no need to do that. If you click that install update, it will be updated. The steps is also mentioned here in your notes. You need to specify the location of STS ID, that means STS tool.exe, or install an update. After that, what you need to do, it will check out that and it will simply say that successfully installed. Then you need to restart your STS. You need to restart your STS. You can check out that whether it's installed or not. You can go to the help about STS, and here you will see the version. It is there or not. If it is mentioned, that means yes, it is successfully installed. And definitely it will work now. Does it make sense? Please confirm. अब उसके बाद क्या करना है आपको? You need to restart your STS. एक बार आपने restart कर दिया, फिर क्या होगा? आपको अब Lombok यूज करने के लिए you need to use step 2. मतलब इतने से काम नहीं चलेगा. आपकी आईडी को कैपेबिलिटी मिल गई है. अब आपके प्रोजेक्ट में उसे यूज करना है. तो प्रोजेक्ट में यूज करने के लिए you need to use this Lombok dependency. Add that. So this dependency either you can add by starting your application, or you can simply check out from here as well. That is Maven repository. Pick this dependency, paste it. Once you will do that, फिर भी कभी-कभी कुछ लोगों में गिटर सेटर काम नहीं करता है. In that case, you need to refresh or update your project. That's it. This is the final step. Definitely it will work. And once it will done, then you will see here, you are going to get using Lombok n number of annotations. Like that, setter. Like that, toString. Like here, getter. Right? So what are the details of that one? Here's mentioned there. Now there is a data. Data is a shortcut of getter, setter, and toString. So if you notice, let me show you. This is student class. Here, data. If you click on this, data is a combination of getter, setter, and toString. It's not of your, maybe sometime equals hash code may not work. So this is the complete documentation find here. That is the data किसके काम कर रहा है, equivalent to getter, setter, required are toString and equals hash code. ये सब के लिए हमारा काम करता है. That means the entire thing is a shortcut one. But explicitly you want to mention the equals and hash code on toString, then you can define as well. Does it make sense? So once you define that here data, automatically this class object you are going to get the getter, setter, all the fields. सबसे बड़ा फायदा ये क्या होता है इसके लिए कि सपोज दैट ये हमारे पास नहीं होती है एनोटेशन, तो आपको लिखना पड़ता है ये सारी चीजें, क्योंकि ये क्लास काफी लंबा हो जाता है, काफी बड़ा सा कोड हो जाता है. और सबसे बड़ी जो प्रॉब्लम थी कि वो क्या थी, सपोज हमने कोई फील्ड को ऐड किया यहाँ पे, प्राइवेट लोकल डेट DOB. अब क्या करना पड़ेगा हमें, इसके रिगार्डिंग गेटर सेटर लिखना पड़ेगा, toString को डिलीट करके इसे भी ऐड करना पड़ेगा. Isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. सपोज हमने किसी फील्ड को यहाँ से हटा दिया, तो अब उसके गेटर सेटर को डिलीट करो, उसके toString को हटाओ, so lots of problems used to be there. But here, no need to do. Just directly define your variable. This annotation will take care of it. नहीं सर, हमें बाकी की चीजें नहीं चाहिए, हमें सिर्फ getter method चाहिए. So you can just use getter. I want to use setter. Only setter. Like this. Sir, I want that parameterized constructor. I take the data, that's cool. I want that parameterized constructor. So you have that all are constructor. All are constructor. You are going to get that. But if you are getting the all are constructor, the zero argument constructor will be not there. So in order to get that zero argument constructor, you need to access zero argument constructor. It is no arg constructor. Like this. Now you have both options. So let's check out that whether it is there or not in the IMPL. If I will create the student class object, S is equal to new. See that? All our constructor is also showing, zero argument constructor is also showing. And if I click this one, so S dot getter method is also there, toString is also there, setter method is also there. Am I clear? Just confirm. how to use this Lombok. So it is not like that in your evaluation, you have to use the Lombok, you are getting any marks by using the Lombok. It's not like that, but it's for your convention. Now, in this notes will be shared with you as well. So please go through these annotations like not null, required constructor, sneaky throw. Sometimes you don't want to use this one. Yes, this documentation I will share with you. So just go through that one. In this one, Swagger Open API is also there. And then after how to use logging in Spring Boot, it is also there. Unfortunately, due to the time constraint, we could not complete this topic. But they are the very simple topics, just like that, your Lombok. So we are going to conclude this topic in first hour, and then after we will start this Spring security. Is it okay? Cool. Mohammed Zayed is saying, Jason, ignore, please explain once again. Zayed, please try to do some R&D on JSON ignore. If you're not able to get that, what is the meaning of this? Otherwise, just watch this video once again. Tomorrow, again, we will ask that. Tomorrow in tomorrow's session, we will continue. We'll talk about that one once again. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I will share this entire notes and those application also in your LMS. After that, within just 10 to 15 minutes after this session, you are going to get there from your LMS. Thanks once again. Just do the practice and try to implement your assignment properly. Thank you. Zakir, are you there?
Yes, sir.